Hello, welcome to the Black Cat Intuitive and to my latest reading, which is on the ostrich farm in Canada. So there is, it's called Universal Ostrich Farms, I believe, and then there was a ostrich that recently died called Spirit. But yeah, it's been in the news. It's a big deal. So we're going to probe into that. So, let's see. What's the first question that I said? I'm hearing. The first question I'm going to ask is, do the ostriches know, or do the ostriches know that they're being watched? How do the ostriches feel about what is happening? Like the ostrich collective. How much is there? Several hundred. But so how do the ostriches feel about what is happening? Do they know that they're on camera? Let's ask this. Okay. Do the ostriches know that they're being watched? Because people think that animals know more than people. Just because they can't speak doesn't know. So I'm hearing the 10 of Wands. That's kind of a blockage, not seeing card. Do the ostriches know they're being watched? King of Pentacles. Do the ostriches know the tower? Okay, they know something's going on with the tower. Their eyes are kind of blocked and they don't okay, let's see this image. They kind of, what do they feel? They know something is happening, but they're very confused. They're almost like, could somebody, I'm hearing an ostrich say, could somebody explain to me why we are suddenly in this flurry of activity? We do not know what this is about. Well, why are we? So it's almost like there's several head ostriches that are just wondering what is this going on? But they're like, why is this the tower? Why is this happening? They know something is happening. Something is happening. Something is breaking up their normal steady life. And the tower. So let's feel feel into the energy of the ostrich. I'm gonna put these cards. Okay, feel into the energy. Okay, what do the ostriches feel about this? Okay, tune into the ostrich. So I'm gonna just focus on one ostrich in the gang. It may sound funny, but okay, what does the ostrich feel? Okay, would somebody tell me what is going on? Would somebody tell me why we are being moved? Why this is happening? Why are all these people around us? So I take it they don't have an intuitive understanding. I don't know much about ostriches, but different animals have different levels of awareness, I understand. There's some animals that are really in the know, apparently, right? I've read different books about intuitive, Amelia Kincaid, but there's different levels to different animals know more stuff. Some animals absolutely know what's going on. Some animals, they don't, they just have a surface level. And so I take it these ostriches don't really, why is this happening? Why are we being, and I'm hearing, I'm going to ask, do they like this attention? Knight of Swords. I hear they're angry. They're angry about this. Why are you moving us? Then we've got the Warrior card right here. The Knight of, why are you moving us? Two of Wands. They feel very stubborn and almost things should be a certain way. They kind of, they want the things to be back to stable. Why are they moving us? Why are they doing, and they feel they kind of want to dance around and party. They want to dance around and party. So I'm going to kind of explain to the ostrich, there is something happening in regards to the government, and the government wants to sort of well, what does the government, let's get to that question now. Let's get it's interesting. I can see this like ostrich head right beside me, just kind of, it's kind of like I've called in its energy, and it's sort of like sitting here like with me. But okay, what is the, and it's just like the government, I don't, it's kind of like its consciousness is just like, I don't know what this is, but this is very strange. And then, okay, let's see. So what is the government trying to do? Let's ask. What is the government, what is the agenda beyond this ostrich call? What is a boredom? That's a strange boredom. What is the agenda beyond this ostrich? I hear all three of these cards. Strangers intimidate, share. Strangers, they want to intimidate. Stranger, boredom, almost this energy. I'm hearing this is a separate card, but the strangers that want to intimidate. So, I'm hearing like 7. I'm seeing this image of 7 men in a, more like 15, 7 main men, and then more like 15. And it's sort of like, okay, how do I, let's get that, okay. So what are they trying to do here? They're trying, I'm hearing this is a test. There are many consciousness tests going on in regards to humanity, and how strong are humans in regards to standing up for their rights and standing up for the rights of others. Will they be bossed around? Will they be, so is this almost like a test? So it's sort of a test, but of many, a series of tests that are being put into humanity. And I'm hearing there are many more sort of psychological tests that are seeing how far people will go. And also the Richmond? Yes, that's another test. So it's kind of like anytime. Okay, am I right in saying this? Anytime they sort of, the government does something outrageous to sort of inflame people, to be difficult. Yeah, yes, I'm hearing a lot of these are tests to see if humans will go from a positive side to a negative, or from a negative to a positive side. Will they defend their space? Will they allow somebody to walk all over them? So it's sort of a test, because if somebody can go in, I mean, if somebody, a government or a body can go in, was it the test with Peanut? Yes, that was that was perhaps even more, that was another test to see how people would react. Would they react with, it's always about, why is it always about government infringements? Because that is humans' biggest lesson. One of humans' biggest lessons is to protect against government infringement. So that was the Peanut the squirrel. Yes, that was, could they go into someone's space, an organizing body, take away a squirrel, take away someone's animals, and how angry would people get about it? So there will be, am I right to saying, yes, there will be, depending on how consciousness human goes, it's like almost a stick put into the reality. It's like this nexus of human attention. Everyone is drawn there, and how will people react? It takes over the media, it takes over the reality for a moment, and then it's like, so it's like as the time goes down, they have more and more tests. So okay, so what are these men, these 7? So they're kind of, not good, not bad, but they're kind of, that's interesting. I see them in this, are they kind of in an ethereal realm over this physical? Yes, they are, and they kind of orchestrate. So they're not necessarily good, bad, but they test to see how how imbalanced or balanced consciousness will be, and then they sort of manipulate situations, yes. So they're kind of above this plane. Sometimes they interject themselves into this plane. So I see this as being blue and black, this room. Yes. So they interject themselves in. Sometimes interesting, I'm hearing the word shapeshift. Sometimes they become human, but they are in charge of these consciousness tests. And they basically, so in this situation, they kind of, I'm hearing a bird in an ear. So when a bird says things in an ear, they kind of orchestrated this situation to see how much people would stand up for their rights. So they kind of pushed, they somehow got, it's interesting, they kind of worked together to create this scenario. They kind of got human, to start doing this in order to see how far humans. So could this group consider, they could be considered good, but they're more like manipulators from the other side, and they'll kind of do whatever. Like I'm hearing that this is the good side that is doing their bidding now, but they're kind of scientific, a group of sort of scientific aliens, humanoids that kind of manipulate situations, but they'll do whatever. They're just interested in humans. They don't really care if things go good or bad. But in this case, this is a positive thing, right? This is a positive. People are standing up. People are, saying no, putting their line in the sand, and you can't take my ostriches. You can't take my ostriches, and so that's what I'm trying to say is that it's a sort of a perfect way to test, because humans have been taken over by gone along with authority. That's the biggest threat of authorities being able to take over. It's this very sick part of the human race. And I'm hearing that this sick part of the human race is being worked out of the human consciousness by these various tests. So the part of the human that bows down to authority, that goes along with what authority says, is being worked out of the human consciousness by these various sort of tests and everything. So interesting. So okay, let's see. Let's get back to the ostriches. How do the ostriches feel about this? You are bad. So have I explained this to them, or are they starting to understand, or at least maybe are some of the ostriches? Okay, let's kind of feel into the ostriches. Okay. Do they feel like they feel? Okay, let's tune into ostriches. There's all these ostriches. So there's all different personalities of the various ostriches, and they're all different. But let's kind of zero in on. I'm hearing they feel very positive about their owner. They feel loyal to their owner. That's why it's so upsetting. Okay, this is what I'm hearing. This is why it's so upsetting to them, because they feel loyal to their owner and they like to have stability. So I'm hearing very, very angry, and I see a bird getting very angry, and I'm hearing ostriches. I haven't seen an ostrich in a long way, but they kind of have this expression. It's hard to kind of certain animals, it's hard to express the full range of emotions that are going on. For example, like a cat versus a dog. A cat would, like, you can see what a dog is thinking very much more clear than a cat. Not to say you can tell with a cat too if you're attuned to that kind of thing, but some people just look at very obvious facial expressions. But I'm hearing, look at the expression of the ostrich. They are very annoyed, very, very angry. They're very angry at the upset of their reality. They feel that they don't quite know. I'm hearing maybe some of them have some more some understanding, but overall is a lot of anger that when you upset their sort of their way of life, they know something like, well, who are all these people? Why are they all of a sudden like just they feel very angry? And if you look at their I'll have to like look at some more videos online of ostriches, but I'm hearing they're very annoyed to angry, to vitriolic. They feel, I'm hearing ostriches can be vitriolic. They can, if they feel like that they're upset or something, I'm hearing they get along with humans that kind of respect them and kind of go along with their flow, and if they kind of they go along with their flow. But I'm hearing that they're not, the people that are taking them now, taking care of them, are not going along with their flow, and they're already upset. The change is already upsetting them to them. The fact that there's all this movement around them is very upsetting to them. But now it's like, and I'm hearing that most, okay, the people taking care, I'm hearing, are they okay? And I'm hearing most are okay, but there's a couple that have a really nasty, sour attitude. The people that have taken over the ostriches, that are no longer like I don't even know the names of the original, it's called Universal Ostrich Home, but I don't know who the original owners are. But now there's been this change, and now they've been in the, either bodies taking care of them. I'm hearing that most are good, but some have a really nasty attitude, and some are the people taking care of them are peaceful, animal loving type people, and then there's a section that really have a nasty attitude, and the ostriches can pick up on that. The ones that aren't nice, most are okay, I'm hearing, but some have a bad, like just even just kind of a disrespectful attitude to the ostriches. I'm trying to like get the energy of what the and this is entertainment purposes only, so don't know like suing or I don't know, whatever, but entertainment purposes only. But yeah, like sort of a bad, nasty, like almost like the ostriches are picking up on this attitude, and like they're kind of, I'm hearing ostriches are sensitive emotionally. They don't, and there's sort of, in terms of intelligence, ostrich intelligence, I'm hearing like they kind of, I'm hearing there's different intelligence. Like they're not like a cat, what can pack in more information, and they kind of know what's going on more. Like they would, I'm hearing if this was happened in the cats, like a group of cats, they would know about the news media, they'd know about the politics involved in it. If this is, just say it was reversed and there was like ostriches were replaced by lynx or something, they'd likely know they'd know all about the politics, and they'd know everything. But I'm hearing with these ostriches, most don't know about the politics of this. They kind of have simple, and I don't want to insult them, but they have simple minds, but they understand energy. And they don't like being disrespected. And I'm hearing they have this energy. First they had the upheaval of changing hands into another situation. Of all these people, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? They feel. And now there's like a section of people that have this, not only are they don't have their normal caretakers, but they have this people with a nasty, some people are good, the people okay. I'm hearing, some are animal, good, kind of okay, good people. I'm hearing okay, good, nice, something like that. And there's a section that are just have a, for some reason, I don't know why, but they have this like nasty, I don't really know even the, like, there was just, I know there was an organization that took them over, right? And then people with them now are just kind of like, there's a couple that are just kind of not being respectful to them, and the ostriches pick up on that. They know that there's some, like, it's almost like there's some good, but the bad ones, the ostriches are just really getting angry. Like, I'm hearing they're really feeling angry, they're feeling annoyed, they're feeling like they just feel very perturbed, and just like there's this boiling of rage almost, like of just like how dare you treat me like this. And they feel it on an emotional level. They're not able to sort of some of them aren't able to understand like more complex things, but they do understand emotionality, and they do understand, I'm hearing, love. And when an owner has love for them, they do feel that, or has a positive energy to them, they feel that. And when someone doesn't, they really feel that. Whereas a cat I'm hearing would know all the nuances, they would be able to put things together more smartly. But the ostriches put things together emotionally, and they don't like it. They put it together emotionally, and they don't like it at all. So they don't like the disrespect that some, not all, but some of the people taking care of them are like. So what is the okay, 10 of Swords. So I hope I'll see if there's other cards. What is the ultimate sort of ending to this? I hope this is a positive that's 6 of Pentacles. So 10 of Swords. I'm going to pull some other, so 6 of Pentacles and then Victory. So 6 of, okay, let me pull some cards from that. Just let me get a drink of water. And so the 6 of Pentacles, laughter. So boss, and victory and boss. So what does that mean, laughter? Fear and laughter. Fear, it's sort of like a mixture between, maybe there's a better word for laughter. It's sort of the sense I'm getting, is it sort of a battle between oppression and freedom. This is like a battle between oppression and freedom. So when I saw that, my heart saying, I saw 10 of Swords, because that's kind of an end, and that's kind of a dead, so I'm afraid, would that mean that the ostriches should be killed ultimately? They got 10 of Swords, but then that fear and shame. So I've kind of got that it's kind of a battle between darkness, of that kind of darkness, 10 of Swords, like the ultimate energy of fear, shame, that kind of that energy of fear and shame, and laughter as in good, an expansive energy. And the sun is, or the wand is kind of a victory and the boss. So it's sort of like, as we go down this path, this energy of this situation, like other situations, will sort of permeate into other realities. I'm hearing it. It's very, what this happens will be like, we're very much permeate into other realities. So it's an important nexus point. Yeah, I mean, people would say, it's just ostrich, just one farm, and like 300 or I can't remember, was it 203? I don't remember. But like it's almost, and you know what's interesting, what just popped into my mind right now was a Bible story where I can't remember the Bible character, but he was holding up his hands, and he was like carrying the whole weight of like a army, and seeing what will it go. Like he held up his hand, I think it was named Jacob, I don't remember, but the determining factor of what would happen to the army was determined if he could hold something up for a long time. So that's what I'm getting. Like, can this be held up or held back for a long time? It's like seeing an image of a scale. It's like as everybody sends their energy towards this, they're helping the positive outcome of, truth and sort of freedom from government control. They're helping that energy stay. So it's like everyone's energy is sort of going towards that, or affecting everybody there, energetically. But yeah, it's interesting. I'll have to find that story in the Bible again though. But he holds up his arm, and then as he starts to lose grip, like the whole, everything goes. If he starts to lose his strength, then everything sort of goes bad. But if he keeps his strength up, then the outcome of the war goes a different way. So that it was I can't remember, but it might be a parable, it might be whatever it is in the Bible, but that's just what came to mind. So that is significant to how this plays out, this whole ostrich business. All right, and let's see what else. Okay, let's see. Write about your thoughts and feelings. It's interesting. I'm hearing that sort of the ostriches are having trouble processing their feelings about that. That's what I get. I know it's different from this, but that's what I get. It's something about the ostriches having trouble processing their feelings. But let's see. What's a message that we can gain from this? What's a message that we can gain from this? Oh, interesting. We've got this. I'm drawn to this image right here. There's a winged creature, or like a lamb and a winged creature. And I was saying before about him like holding something up, and that directing the energies of where this goes. And then we've got sense of humor. It's interesting. I got laughter too, like a sense of humor. So it's like, let's see, spend more time outdoors. Well, that could kind of relate to, being outdoors with and then self-respect. I think this is the important card. Self-respect. Maybe another. I'll see if there's another card. Self-respect. But I think that's very important, because the lady, I don't even remember her name, but I believe there's like a woman or who's in charge of it, and then she has honor and trust your feelings comes out again. I got right about something about making people reflect about what's going on too. But I think self-respect is very important, because I mean, what if the lady the farm owner was just to say, oh, well, it's just be easier just to give up. They can have my ostriches. But she said, no, they can't have my ostriches. No, I'm not going to let the government, trample all over my rights and trample over my ostriches and just go in and kill all my ostriches. No, she says, it's like sort of an example of self-respect, of saying no and having, interesting. And I'm hearing this situation is already resolved, and it's interesting. I keep on seeing the wings, which kind of reminds me of like ostrich wings too, but it's kind of it's kind of like, yes, having the self-respect to say no, and not, because all sorts of dangerous things. And I'm hearing that even when I'm hearing this in this time period, at least in Canada, it's relatively, not saying it's easy, but there's times, there's been regimes where, I mean, obviously everyone knows this, where if you say no to the government, you'll be killed, right? So this, at least right now, there was none of that. But at least in Canada. But it's like there's times when it's very difficult to stand up. And I'm hearing even when people stand up to, you know, to oppressive regimes and they lose their life to these oppressive regimes, they still are they're it's not in vain, because they've stood up for themselves, and that's probably the biggest sort of, and I talked about in my previous video, the 3-Eye Atlas video, about that, about like was it this, I can't remember, but it's something about, you know, standing up and not the whole bug in humanity that obeys authority. Like that's like the whole bug of humanity that obeys authority and goes along with the government is something that's being really tested. But there's many groups that want to remove this. Like, well, the positive groups are trying to remove this flaw in the human consciousness that goes along with authority, that you know, that kowtows to authority, that you know, that doesn't question things. So that's what this is. And I think that the person who did this, like they may have done this before, because people do this before, right? They have, you know, the same, sometimes the similar experiences, or somewhat similar. There's kind of like, you know, what's the word? There's like tendrils from past life. There's kind of like what's the word? Like echoes. That's the right word. Echoes from past lives. So yeah, these birds, and I'm hearing that these birds will be changed a little bit by the end. They'll kind of be upgraded a little bit in terms of like a little bit more understanding. Like they seem to understand things very emotionally, but they may understand things more. But I'm hearing there's some of the ostriches that are smarter than others. Like there's different like beings and different ostriches type thing. But there's some that are very just emotional, and they know that they were loved before. Now they're in a situation where they're feeling just displaced, and in some cases disrespected. And they know the feeling. They may not understand the nuance of everything that's happening, but a lot of them, they understand the feeling of it. They understand the intention behind it, even though they do not understand all the details of it, if that makes any sense. All right, thank you for watching.